Welcome to this edition of the Digital Rubberband Doorknob, Episode 5, The Potato. There is one ingredient we all have in our kitchens, the potato. This native crop from South America has been introduced to the world. It has been adapted by cooks and served in countless ways. From simple to complex, from home kitchens to fine dining, the potato is there in some form. My history with the potato and cooking is really grounded in culinary school. This has allowed me to travel the world. My favorite experience and the time when I do enjoy eating potatoes is usually at a pub or a tavern. So today I'm going to prepare 3 potato dishes that represent a snapshot of my story with potato. In each episode, I like to give you a little insight into the tools, ingredients, and techniques that come from my world of the professional kitchen. When navigating classical recipes and knife cuts that are associated with the potato, all sorts of gadgets have been designed and used over the years. These include Parisian scoop, this lovely French fry cutter, even a measuring device. Yes, we do measure in the professional kitchen. However, the one thing that scares the crap out of everybody, the mandolin. Trust me from experience, it hurts like hell if you cut yourself on it. So if it's not used properly, set up correctly, and in the right hands, it could be pretty dangerous. So for the home use, I'm going to recommend this Japanese mandolin. It's made by a company called Ben Rinner, another name for it. It also comes with assortment of blades that are similar to the mandolin. It's relatively inexpensive, and later in the episode, I'm going to show you how to use it safely and properly to get the results that you'd probably get on a mandolin without the cost and without the danger.
As for what potatoes are commonly available on the market, we have the baking or Idaho potato, or large or small white potato, which is waxier than the Idaho, the smaller red skin or red bliss, and their cousin, the garnet sweet potato or southern yam. For most of your cooking, stick with the versatile baking potato. For different recipes, the age of the potato can greatly affect the texture and flavor. For chips, I like to use older potatoes which have just begun to sprout like these ones. Just like all your produce, you really want to properly wash your potatoes by scrubbing them with a brush or a towel and rinsing them properly before peeling. After completely peeling, use the end of the peeler to properly remove or carve out any black spots or blemishes. Our first recipe, gratin dauphinoise. The Japanese mandolin comes with a safety guard. On the back, there is a screw to adjust the thickness of each slice. The guard is designed to hold down thinner product, such as the end of a potato. I like to rest the mandolin on a plate or in a bowl to collect the product, and it's easy cleanup. For the dauphinoise, I'll be using this technique to slice the potatoes as I assemble the dish. Gratin dauphinoise, traditionally made with eggs, cream, and Gruyere cheese, is made by using a gratinier method, top browning. It starts by buttering an oven-proof dish, which is seasoned with salt, pepper, and plenty of chopped garlic. In my version, the dish is assembled by layering the potatoes with salt, pepper, garlic, and a little Parmesan cheese. This is repeated to about a ½ inch from the top. Fresh cream is added, and the potatoes pressed until the cream covers the potatoes. Adding cream is necessary. It is topped with more cheese, covered, baked in a 400 oven for about an hour. The cover is removed, and continue to cook for about another 30 minutes or until golden brown. After resting for about 30 minutes, the potatoes are ready to serve. They are soft, creamy, delicious just by themselves. But I did need to serve them with something else. So minted glazed carrots, a classic beef patoke fritter, and a little pesto cream for some additional richness, which we really didn't need, but it tasted great. Our blueprint technique for this episode is the seasoning of cast iron pans. Cast iron pans have a habit of rusting over time if not maintained, such as in the case of this pan on the right. So if your pan hasn't seen any love in a while, here's how you can bring it back to life. This works for both black cast iron or steel pans, such as this little one I'm going to use in the next recipe. Place the pan over high heat. Add a good amount of oil and a generous amount of coarse kosher or sea salt. Allow to cook until the oil begins to smoke and the salt colors. Be very careful at this point. Drain off the oil and about half of the salt. Using tongs or oven glove, vigorously scrub the pans with paper towels and the salt. When clean, rub with a little clean oil to coat. Now that you have your seasoned pan, you probably want to cook with it, so go for it. Well, what do you do afterwards? Don't scrub it with any abrasive cleaner or pad. If something is stuck to it, just use a little brush and a little dish soap. Wipe it out with a dry towel, paper towel preferably, and a little bit of oil to bring it back to life. That's it. If nothing's stuck to it, just wipe it out with a paper towel, rub it down with a little oil, and that's how you're going to develop the patina for that pan over time. It will last you a long time if you maintain it. So good luck. To begin our roasty, I start by placing waxy potatoes in cold salted water and cook them over medium-high heat until about 3/4 of the way cooked. I drain them, allow them to cool to the touch. Then I use a small paring knife to peel the potatoes, and I cool them overnight. For the roasty itself, I have the peeled potatoes, some diced bacon, and onions. In the pan that I'm going to use for the roasty, I cook off the bacon and remove to a plate with some paper towel, leaving some of the bacon fat in the pan to cook the onions. Golden brown, remove from the pan and reserve for the next step. Now grate the potatoes into a bowl, season with the bacon, cooked onions, salt, black pepper, and a little bit of nutmeg. Over medium heat with some of the drained fat, butter, or oil, start adding the potatoes to form a large cake approximately 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, packing the edges with a spatula to form a nice shape. Cook for 5 to 6 minutes until golden brown. Using a plate, flip it over, finish cooking on the other side. The cooking on the other side may also be done in the oven. Here's the finished product. Using the pan I seasoned earlier, I'm going to make some individual roasty for a little bit more elegant version presentation. For our dinner this evening, I'm making a version of burner roasty. I have individual roasty topped with Swiss cheese, bacon, and then heated in the oven. I finish each with a fried egg and freshly cut chives. I decided to serve this with a mixed green salad with fresh floral and herbs from my garden. The difference between English chips and American fries, other than the varieties of the potatoes, is how they are cut. After removing the ends, cut the potatoes in thick 3/4 inch slices across the potato versus along the long edge. Cut each slice into 2 to 3 slices for the classic chip shape. After cutting all the chips, place them in a bowl of cold water and make sure they are well separated. After blanching the potatoes in boiling salted water for 1 minute, I put them on a tray lined with paper towels to completely air dry. This is the first step or cook in triple cooked chips. The second cook is in 325-degree oil for about 3 minutes, then back onto a clean tray with paper. The final and third cook is in 375-degree oil until golden brown and crispy, about 5 to 6 minutes. Make sure you drain them well before serving. Whenever you serve any fried food, season them immediately with fine iodized or sea salt. One of our family favorites is fish and chips, which reminds us of a trip to England. The problem is that I can't get them to the table fast enough. So grab the vinegar, lemon, or ketchup and dive in. It doesn't take long before they're all gone. To celebrate the potato in both the English and the Central European traditions, for my fish and chips, I chose a ruby red ale from England, Hobgoblin, now available in cans. And for the roasty, the original Pilsner, Pilsner Kel, served in a traditional mug with a big frothy head. And after all that hard work, cheers. The potato in all its varieties is something that we may take for granted. I've always believed that the quality of a good restaurant meal is not dependent on the portion size of the rice or the potatoes, but the quality and care you put into them. So, if you're tired of those soggy fries with the next curbside pickup or delivery, try making or cooking some triple cooked chips or a slow dish of potato gratin. Forget about the dishes, gather around the kitchen counter and indulge. I've had many meals standing up in the kitchen. You should try it sometime. So cheers to you, Spud, and thanks for watching.